So welcome everyone to the first game of the Fall of the Old World from last weekend. I apologise in taking my time to get started on these, but it's been a busy week at work with the Easter holidays starting. Anyway, as you all know from my last tournament, 3 of my 5 games were against the Dwarfs, which I absolutely despise. So I was hoping that with only 3 Dwarf players of the 38, I would be avoiding them. But first game of Fall of the Old World, Saturday morning, was up against the Dwarfs again. So I was feeling a bit deflated even going into this. But turns out I was up against Terry Flaherty, who doesn't like war machines too much and only brought 2 organ guns. Only. Anyway, his army consisted of a big unit of Iron Breakers, a unit of 10 Thunderers, a unit of 20 Quarrelers, a big unit of 20, I think it was 22 Iron Drakes, another unit of 20 Quarrelers, 2 Gyrocopters, 2 organ guns of course, and he had his characters. So he had his Dwarf Lords on Shield Bearers, he had his BSB, had Thane or something else, and Grimlock Ferguson or whatever his name is. Grimlock Burlingson or Grim Burlingson, I think that's the name. Anyway, we'll get there eventually. So we go into deployment. This is his right flank. He has his unit of Iron Drakes, then a organ gun with Grim Burlingson, then 20 Quarrelers. In his centre, he has his unit of Iron Breakers with his General and BSB. He has his 2 Gyrocopters right at the front. Another, what do you call it? Organ gun. I'm going to forget the names of these things all night because I hate them so much. I just want to wipe them from my memory. Another unit of Quarrelers and a unit of 10 Thunderers and a Thane. I want to say a Thane. I think that's what they're called. On my right flank, I have a unit of 5 Dark Riders. These are vanguarded up, so this is after vanguards. Unit of 18 Witch Elves. I have a unit of 20 Blackguard with a level 2 Metal Sorceress in there. I have 15 Sisters of Averlorn with a Handmaiden of the Everqueen. My Frostheart Phoenix, Malekith on his Black Dragon Seraphon, 25 Black Ark Corsairs with a BSB with the Banner of the World Dragon, and 5 Dark Raiders. I won the roll to go first, and I start moving up. So here we have my Dark Riders pushed up. They're going to absorb some shots there, hopefully, try and open up the way for my Witch Elves. My Witch Elves just march forwards. My Phoenix comes forward. It's sitting at a funny angle, but the base is basically going straight forward there. The damn wings on the Phoenix. And my Sisters and Blackguard just move up behind that. Over on this side, Malekith swings out to the left, going to pull in at the flank. I'm looking for a turn 2 charge with my Dark Riders onto that organ gun, hopefully. Take it out. Maybe Malekith going into the Iron Drakes. We'll see how that goes. And I just move up the Corsairs as well. So I try to get off Pit of Shades, and it gets eaten and destroyed by the runes of Dwarven pains in the arses. I then get the Enfeebling Foe off on that. I believe that was actually the Withering I got off, and I've given them the wrong card because I remember us actually swapping that around. It was the Withering I got off to lower its toughness, but I only managed to lower it by 1, so it didn't make a difference. I then try to get off Melkoth's Mystifying Miasma, and I think I fail. So on my shooting phase, I do a wound to a Gyrocopter. And that's it. So we go into my opponent's turn, and he declares both Gyrocopters to charge in at my Phoenix. which I was quite surprised about. I was more expecting them to fly across and try and flame my troops, but wasn't to be. And both of them make it in. It's a shame. Going to hold up my Phoenix there. His Iron Drakes move up a little bit. I still don't think they're in range though, because if the closer they come up, they were going to be getting charged from Malekith a bit easier. So they decided not to come too far. His Dwarf Lord and his unit angle themselves toward the centre, but still out with any easy charge range. Over here, the first of the organ guns open up. No, sorry, the unit of Quarrelers opens up and just completely obliterates the unit of 5 Dark Riders there. Over here, the other unit of Quarrelers only takes down one of these guys. I think it was the Quarrelers. Yeah, then the 2 organ guns open up and do 4 wounds. Do 6 wounds to Malekith. So that right away, Malekith's under half health, so I'm feeling a little anxious now. So I really do want to get Malekith charged and into combat next turn. And over here, my 4 attacks from my Phoenix, and 3s to hit. And this is what I roll. 1, 1, 2, 2. And so just continuing straight on from my last game against Graham in the practice match, my luck is still not good. I thought I'd ran out all the bad luck I could have had, but there's more to be had. So I don't do anything there. He doesn't do anything to me, and it's drawn combat. So I actually lose this combat by 1, I think. But I passed my leadership test, and all is good. So we go into my turn 2, and I start by declaring 2 charges on the organ gun and making it with both Malekith and the 1 remaining Dark Rider. I guess I was wrong. He killed 4 and not 1 with his other unit of Quarrelers. By the way, both of them made it into that organ gun, so that's one of them out of my way at least. And over here, I start angling my way towards the centre of the army here. I'm hoping my sisters are going to do some damage to something. My Blackguard are a little bit stuck behind that Phoenix now since he messed up, and I'm stuck in combat with those 2 gyrocopters. And my Witch Elves, as you can see in the top there, just start making their way across the board a bit further, but it's a bit of a crucible walking in there with the Thunderers, the Quarrelers and the organ gun all down that end. I then try to 6 dice final transmutation onto the General's unit. It's only level 2, but since I did draw final trans, I thought let's go for it. And I roll this. 1, 1, 1, 1, 4 and 3. So I didn't even get it off, let alone Irresistible Force it. Bad dice rolling continues. We go into combat, and the Phoenix manages to kill off one of the gyrocopters. Unfortunately, I think it's the other one stays and sticks around. And over here, both Malekith and the Dark Rider do a load of wounds to the Dwarven organ gun, and both overrun my Dark Rider straight off the board, and Malekith into the unit of Quarrelers. So that's keeping Malekith free from being shot at for another turn. I'm happy with that. We go into turn 2 for the Dwarfs, and he starts by taking a couple of shots with the Thunderers at the Witch Elves. He doesn't move, at least not much. In fact, he does. The movement, he turns his Dwarf Lord and the unit of Iron Breakers round to face Malekith. Then he takes 2 shots at the Witch Elves, killing. Takes shots at the Witch Elves, killing 2 of them. 3 of them once the quarrelers go as well. Then the organ gun opens up, and that's another few of them off. Over here, the iron drakes open up on the corsairs, killing about 10 of them, or 11. Since they're flaming and not magical, the Banner of the World Dragon doesn't help me much. That's a pain. So here's a better picture of it. His general's unit, which turned to face my Malekith, and he's hoping to charge his Dwarf Lord in there and see if he can kill Malekith off before Malekith kills him and does the damage. And going into my turn 3, this is how it looks. All Malekith managed to do last turn was just kill a few of the... kill off the champion and the quarrelers. And also in his turn, the Frostheart Phoenix managed to chase down break the gyrocopter and chase it down. So we go into my turn and I charge the Phoenix into the other organ gun. I tried to charge the Witch Elves as well, but failed, so they didn't go very far. And everything else just moves up. I then get Melkoth's Mystifying Miasma off on the Iron Drakes, I think it is, and I lower their ballistic skill. I then get off Final Transmutation on the General's unit, which I'm completely wrong. What I actually did was cast Melkoth's Mystifying Miasma on his General's unit for whatever reason. That was probably the wrong thing to do. And I cast... that must have been what I got off irresistibly. And I pie plate the Blackguard and kill off 10 of them. There's a better picture of that. I then get Final Transmutation off on the Dwarf Lord unit. And I kill 3 Dwarfs out of the 27. And I kill off the Dwarf General. I get 4 models out of the 29 characters, or 29 models in that unit. I get 4 kills, but one of them is the Dwarf General. I roll the 6, and I almost felt bad for that, but it's very handy. And the Dwarf General is dead. That's points for me. And he's now probably not going to want to charge that unit into the side of Malekith. Over here, the Phoenix fails to kill the organ gun this turn. And we go into my opponent's turn. All he really does is move some things around. He decides not to be facing Malekith anymore with his Iron Breakers. He then turns out to face my sisters and my Corsairs and runs towards them as far as dwarfs can move. Is it actually called running? Not sure. And the Iron Drakes as well move up towards him. We go into the shooting phase and he kills off another Witch Elf with the Thunderers and then kills off another 3 with the Quarrelers. This is a picture over here of how the movement was. We went into combat and I killed off a load more of the Quarrelers with Malekith. However, they're still sticking around. Tell a lie. They're not. I managed to either kill them this turn or I broke them and they ran off the board. I'm not 100%. Malekith turns to face the Iron... what do we call the Iron Breakers this turn, and the Phoenix takes a second round of combat to kill off the organ gun and face the Iron Breakers as well. And you can also see here, I must have forgot to take a picture of it, but his Iron Drakes opened up and wiped out every single one of my Corsairs, so my BSB's standing there on his own with a banner to protect him from magical attacks. So at least he's safe from those. Then we go into my turn 4 and I elect to charge the Phoenix into the Iron Breakers, which he flees. However, he doesn't get very far, and the Phoenix catches him and runs him down. So he lost his BSB and his full unit of Iron Drakes from that charge, which was ouch. I think he only rolled like a 3 or a 4 for distance. And I think all he wanted to do was flee far enough that he got outside Malekith's charge arc and maybe bounce through the Iron Drakes. So bit of a downer for Terry on that one, but the show must go on, as they say. So there's my movement. I run my Witch Elves far forward as I can again. Just want to get something into combat. My Blackguard managed to march around using Malekith's 20-inch movement. They're up on the flank of the Quarrelers there. My sisters come around to take some shots at the Iron Drakes. Just a better picture of it there. And I kill off a few of the Iron Drakes in the shooting phase. Magic's pretty much a wash. And on the Dwarven turn 4, he just turns to face the Iron Drake so that it's a frontal charge. And he takes his character, Grim Burlickson, yes, out into the unit as well, moves him in. He then fires as many shots from the Iron Drake as he can at the Phoenix and does 2 wounds. And he manages to think he kills off most of the Witch Elves in his shooting phase. Then in my turn, I just charge both these units into the Iron Drakes. Wholly expecting to kill them. This is my attacks from my Phoenix, who decides once again to do nothing. He is then cut down in combat, which sucked immensely. Malekith's there though, and he kills a champion. They're steadfast and they stick around. Over here, my Blackguard were chaffed up by a little engineer, which I think I just charged just to kill. That was fine. On his turn, there's not much else he can do. He shoots and kills off the last of the Witch Elves. In combat, more Iron Drakes die. Then these are just very quick turns now. We then go into my turn and they break. They flee about 1,000 inches and Malekith fails to catch them. This is basically how the game ends. I'm sorry towards the end there it got a bit furry, but there wasn't much happening. I was basically in combat. He was taking shots at stuff on the right side of the board. I was killing stuff on the left side of the board. But I failed here in the end to get the unit for the points for the Iron Drakes and Grim Burlickson. So I think this game actually finished a 13-7. But with killing off a few of his characters, I managed to get 17 tournament points for this. So I was off to a good start for the day. It wasn't too bad. It was a good game. Both of us had some terrible rolls. The big turning point, Malekith got into combat turn 2, and the final transmutation, which managed to basically kill only his general. It was a good game to start my day, considering I was not looking forward to it at the prospect of fighting Dwarfs again. But it maybe rekindled my faith in the Dwarfs, that there would be better lists out there. However, one of the players, Mike Callahan, was running a Dwarf list with no war machines, which would have been much more fun to fight, but wasn't to be. I got the list with the organ guns, who managed to do 6 wounds or so to Malekith. So it was off to a good start. Victory for me, and up the tables I go. And into game 2, which is against Orcs and Goblins. We'll see you on that one.
HotEK.